everyone, Kat here. So today I'm going to be talking about how I'm studying for my IB and AP exams. I've posted already my getting ready for my IB art show. So that was one of my so-called exams. So that's like, I'm done with art and that was my exam. So I'm kind of lucky that one of them has done. So that was one of my exams. So you saw my preparation for all of that, which was hectic and crazy. But now for my other classes, because I will just list out the classes that I am taking right now, so then that'll give you guys more of a idea on how I'm studying for this, I guess. So I'm taking HL Biology, so higher level biology for IB, HL English, I think it's literature and something else. It's English A, so that's all I know. So that's also IB. I'm taking AP Calculus. And then IB SL Math. Those are kind of just the classes that I'm going over. Most of them I will be just going over notes that I've taken individually through the textbook, because how I've been studying for a lot of this program is just by myself and like teaching it all myself, which kind of is annoying because that's kind of how our school works. But but I will be showing you guys what some of the materials that I will be looking after. So I'm really lucky that we have AP study sessions. Like our district has like a fund and that has like raised money to have these study sessions that on Saturdays that teachers come and teach and review with us, and it's just, I don't know, I love those and I find them really helpful. They give us these really cool packets that like give us the schedule to everything. Like, and oh, the highlighted ones are the classes I ended up going to. And they have the teacher's name and like the time, and they even give us breakfast, like a breakfast break, and they give us like food and stuff, which I appreciate very much. So yeah, I just have like a bunch, like these are that's like a lot of packets, but yeah, so I'll just be going over a lot of these. Yeah, so I really like these because they kind of, so for example, for the graphical relationships among F prime, and F double prime. So it talks about it talks about all the rules and stuff, so they like summarize a lot of it right here. But then they also put a bunch of like example questions and like what kind of questions like you can see on exams. And these a lot of them are past exam questions. But like as you can see, there are lots of like exam questions, and like I highlighted the right answer, and like I have questions, and like I don't know, and they were like really helpful, and it was just like a tutoring session, like kind of what I will hopefully see in college. At least when I shadowed, that's what I saw. They had like lots of homework help, they called it. And yeah, so there are like lots of homework problems that I can end up doing, and there's just lots of examples. So I'll be studying off of those. So our teacher's really awesome, and he really prepares us. So here's he calls it our toolkit. And so I just kind of made lots of note cards over everything, and I still have lots more to make. But yeah, like for example, just like some problems that I can work out or some equations. Like I take notes in calculus, but sometimes like my notes, especially in math, get cluttered because of the amount of like example problems we do. So like equations sometimes are lost, and like theorems are sometimes lost. I just put the definition, I put the equation. Honestly, like I'll try to look through these, but note cards for me usually aren't that helpful, but like to look back at, because I usually don't do that. I learn it while I write it, so that kind of just like the reinforcement of writing it helps me. So maybe writing down note cards with equations on it or definitions might end up helping. And so he gives us practice, like throughout, like for warm-ups, he gives us practice exam questions that we do. And so like I've just kept all of them, because in the end I'm probably going to go back and look at all of them, because just like they're really good references. And here, that's just like one of them. Here's another one. And then sometimes he makes us do them for homework too. So then that like ensures that they really get done too. So they're just like really good study methods. If your teacher doesn't do that, then just kind of like, you can definitely get them online. Like online is one of the best resources for studying for exams like these. So just go online and you'll definitely be able to find them. Our teacher is actually making us take a like full out practice AP exam. So that's really helpful, I guess. I'm really nervous. I really want to do well, but But yeah, that's another resource you can do. I definitely do that with the ACT. You just kind of sit yourself down and you take that exam as if like it's the real deal. So it just like kind of gets your mind prepared. I'm also doing that for biology. I'm taking a paper 1, 2, 3 like all in a row because that's how it's going to be in the real day of exam. So just kind of like taking the exams as if they're like real is really helpful. It just gets you prepared and ready and in the mode. Okay, so now for biology. I kind of have the worst bio teacher in the like history of bio. He like sits in the back of the room on his phone his whole time. Like, I don't know how he has a job. He probably won't next year. Just saying. But so he's kind of the worst, and just because he doesn't do anything and he like doesn't know the curriculum, like if you ask him a question, like he won't know. So I've just been taking notes over the past 2 years, and those are I'm missing actually 3 chapters within this stack because I'm still currently taking those notes. But yeah, I take like in-depth notes when it comes to stuff like this. I just do. So like here's my first chapter where I like every time I organize it, I put a paper clip and like this same like little note thing, so it like separates all of them and it's like makes things easy. But yeah, as you can see, I like color code everything and like yeah, so it makes it really easy because dark blue is like vocab that I should know. So that's like really important because it's like easy to pinpoint like I can just look through all of my notes and say, "Oh yeah, what's this word? Oh yeah, okay, cool, I remember." And then like I have light purple as one of my colors, and that's for equations. And so that also like makes it stand out, and so I don't know, it's the way I take notes. And so it just makes things really easy, so like eye-catching, I guess. So it's easy to find like vocab that I don't know and like equations, and just it's really helpful. Okay, so I'm definitely worried about my bio exam because that's one of them I feel the least prepared on. So I've been studying really hard, and I've been printing out like practice exams, paper 1 and paper 2. I've kind of forgotten about paper 3, which if you're not an IB, paper 1 is basically just multiple choice. So I've been printing these out, and he actually gave us one exam off of one, but you know, he did that one time he did the teachings. But yeah, so you can see they're like all multiple choice for paper 1. So I've just kind of been printing those out and trying to like memorize and like know them really well, even though like of course the IB exam is not going to have the exact same questions, but it's good to be familiar with those. And then similarly, I haven't started yet, which is a little pitiful, you know. But paper 2, my paper 2 exam. So paper 2, what it is like short response. And so I obviously haven't gotten to these yet, but they're like really helpful questions, and I just like get them offline. And yeah, so that's really helpful to get familiar with. So maybe if you guys are taking either the exams, just always take practice questions and see if you can answer them. I always find that really, really helpful, because then that tests like what you know, what you don't know, what do you struggle with, like what kinds of problems do you struggle with. Yeah, so I don't know, for me in calc, I think like word problems, like I have always struggled with word problems. So here is a huge file full of all of the definitions. I cannot say I made this, but isn't this crazy? Look at this. Look at all this craziness. And it's all alphabetized. It's crazy. My best friend Angie made it last year. So she sent it to me, and so I could just print it out. And I honestly don't know how helpful this will be, but it's actually a really good resource when I'm taking notes and I want to insert a definition. Like I would edit it to the point of like, what do I actually need? But it's a good reference that I will probably end up taking to college with me in case I take bio. Maybe making your own might be helpful. I am taking the English, so our paper 1 is like annotating either a poem, you get to choose, either a poem or part of a novel, which you probably haven't read. So yeah, I'm not too worried about it, but it's really important to, I kind of half study for it. But I also have the best teacher in English because he's so devoted and like, I don't know, he's really helpful. We will also be his first class of IB students taking an exam with him. So not only like is he such a good teacher, but it's really important for me to do well for him, because it's like he's done such a good job. I want to make sure like the school knows that he's a good teacher and that like he stays and that he has a good reputation, because I think he's the best teacher, but my scores need to prove it too. So I like work really hard in that class too. So for our paper 1, so this is just kind of an example of a poem that we did. This is just me annotating this poem that we did in class, and like we annotate them all together as a class, which is really helpful. But if you guys don't get the opportunity to do that, just like do it by yourself and just kind of sit and I use colors. On the actual IB exam, we won't be able to, so I'm gonna freak out a little bit. But yeah, but for now I use colors and I just kind of like add in some here, and I use like, I talk about the shift, and we like annotate poems a lot more than we do like passages. So I do like shifts and like the meanings, and like I try to do motifs and like symbolism. So that's how I'm studying for English for our paper 1. For our paper 2 exam, we're supposedly supposed to memorize 20 quotes, which I know the last year class didn't do that, and they like passed with flying colors and they were fine. But for me, I noticed that like I don't tend to know books like as a whole very well. That's like my weak point. So I've been memorizing quotes, and I'm going to, because firstly, the best teacher in the world told me to, so I'm going to. And secondly, like I usually do really well when I have quotes, and we're not allowed to have books in the paper 2 exam. So you kind of go in with a pen and they give you paper. That's all you have. Like you, and a prompt of course, but like that's all you're given. You're not given a book, you're not given any references, like you don't get anything. So this is my gross sheet. These are my quotes that I'm using for, so I am actually memorizing 22 quotes to be an overachiever. What you're supposed to do is kind of compare and contrast the 2 books out of the 4 books that we've read in the second semester of senior year. So I'll be doing Silas Marner, as you guys can see, and then Cat's Cradle. Once I have all these quotes memorized, like you can't really study for English. You don't know the prompt until you sit down and there it is. So it's kind of hard to study for that. So yeah, those are my study methods that I'm doing. So hopefully you guys find this helpful if you guys are studying for AP and IB now, or if you guys in the future are studying for it. Give this a thumbs up if you guys think this helped you. Comment below through your methods that you guys use, and don't forget to subscribe. Thanks. Bye.